Hey guys, welcome to Star Wars 101. Today's video is going to be 5 interesting facts on Jedi Master and Council member Eeth Koth. If you guys enjoy this video, then make sure to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think of this Jedi. And with all that said, let's dive in. Number 1. Eeth Koth was an Eredonian Zebrak. Now for this first fact, I'll touch a little on the Zebrak species, since there isn't much to say other than that's what he was. Zebraks were originally from the planet Eredonia. They had horns that extended from their skull, and their color was mostly some sort of brown or gray. Zebraks also had 2 hearts, which would help them a lot in tiring situations. Almost all of the species was somewhat force sensitive too. This species was very bloodthirsty and warlike. Although as time went on and their technology advanced, they started to become more peaceful. Once they were able to travel off-world, they started to establish colonies on different worlds. Perhaps the most famous one was the colony on Dathomir, though the fate of this colony would bring a new type of Zebrak into the universe, the Dathomirian Zebrak, which was a cross between a human and a Zebrak. But I'll cover this in a later video so we can get back to Eeth Koth. Number 2. He was able to use an ability he called Crucitorn. Over the long history of Star Wars, we have seen many Jedi continue to battle an enemy while suffering through an injury. This is known to be the basic ability of Crucitorn, since it is able to help numb the pain of a wound till the user would barely feel it. However, there are a few other ways to use the technique. Instead of just using it to numb your own pain, you could also lessen the pain of others as well. Crucitorn was accepted by the Jedi to be one of their techniques, but many viewed it as bordering the line between the light and the dark, because of how it could be used to inflict pain on others. Through mental infiltration, a user of Crucitorn could make a small, not very painful injury seem unbearable to an opponent. This would help in one-on-one combat a lot, since most times both sides would undoubtedly suffer at least minor injuries from their fight while still in battle. Although most of the effects of Crucitorn are mental, there is another way to make an enemy's wound more painful using it. One could do this by actually agitating the injury through the Force to increase the pain. Number 3. Eeth Koth was removed from the Jedi Council. The reasons for this fact are not given, but we do know that he was voted off the Council shortly before the Revenge of the Sith. Although we don't know why he was voted off by other Council members such as Yoda and Mace Windu, we can speculate on it. In a comic that I'll talk about in a second here, Eeth Koth shows while fighting a pull to the dark side. It's possible that in some point during the Clone Wars, he could have begun to accept the darker truths of the Force, even though he did not become a Sith. This leads many to believe that during the time of the Clone Wars, Yoda or Mace Windu could have sensed something within him that they feared could become very dangerous, therefore making the decision to remove him. Number 4. The death of Eeth Koth. In a Vader comic that I mentioned before, we see Eeth Koth standing by his wife, who has just given birth. He is about to hold the baby girl when all of a sudden, Vader enters the doorway. Panic quickly rushes over his face as he quietly says, "No, not now," probably realizing who the mysterious man is and why he is there. As Vader continues to come in, he says, "You don't need to do this. I'm not him anymore. I'm no one, no threat to anyone." He tells Vader that he is just a priest now, in the Church of the Ganthic Enlightenment. He says, "I bring people peace, officiate weddings and funerals. That's all. They kicked me off the Council. You know, I have no loyalty to the Jedi." Then he offers Vader codes and secret contact frequencies if he will leave him and his family alone. He says that he can tell him how to find other survivors of the Purge. However, once he sees that Vader doesn't care, he force pushes a medical droid towards him and summons his hidden lightsaber, while at the same time telling his wife to take the child and run. Now this next part is what I was talking about in our last fact, when I said he was voted off the Council. I said that the reason he was voted off could have been because he felt a pull to the dark side, and also that others sensed it in him. In this scene, Vader says, "Fear, anger, resentment. I sense them in you. You have let yourself feel, Eeth Koth. It gives you power, more than the Jedi would have ever allowed you." To this he replies, "Perhaps it's the Zebrak in me." Then he says, "Or perhaps now I have something to lose." Then Vader tells him, "Whatever the cause, it's too late, and Force pushes him back with a massive blow. Vader also sends off the Inquisitors to find his wife and capture the child. Although, Eeth Koth is defiant about this and tells Vader that he won't let him take them. To this, Vader only says, "We shall see." The Inquisitors eventually do end up capturing the child, but the one that finds the mother lets her escape. As they're returning with the child, we see Vader still fighting Eeth Koth, who is badly beaten. He tells Vader once again that he will save his family. Then Vader stops and asks him, "Do you think so?" Looking in the direction that Vader's lightsaber is pointing, Eeth Koth realizes that they have his child. And just before he can say no, Vader impales him with his lightsaber. He commands the Inquisitors to bring the child to him, and then looks at it. He tells it quiet, and immediately it stops crying. Number 5. His Padawan Son. Now before we begin for this final fact here, I will have to say that this material is Legends for this last one, but I thought it would be cool enough to throw in anyway. His Padawan's name was Sherad Het, and he was a famous, heroic Jedi Knight prior to the events of the invasion of Naboo. However, eventually he grew weary of his fame, and after a disaster that destroyed his homeworld and his family, he exiled himself to Tatooine, where he became the warlord of a tribe of Tusken Raiders. While he was on Tatooine, he also had a son whom he named Sherad Het. He continued to lead the Tuskens until a Jedi representative, Ki-Adi-Mundi, was sent to retrieve him. However, before he could be taken back, a battle between the Tuskens and Hutts of Tatooine had begun. During the fighting, Sherad Het was killed by the bounty hunter Aurra Sing. Honoring Het's final wish, Ki-Adi-Mundi took his son back to Coruscant to be his Padawan. Many decades after his father's death, Sherad would fall to the dark side and become the infamous Darth Krayt, ruler of the One Sith. So that's it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. If you guys did, then like I said before, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and leave a comment down below telling me what you think of this character for more videos every week. And other than that, have a great day.